Day one begins not with action, but with awakening. Before a man can rebuild his life, he must return to himself. And today, that is exactly what you're doing. For years, you've been living in survival mode, moving fast, thinking fast, reacting fast, trying to keep up with expectations, responsibilities, heartbreaks, and pressure you never asked for. Your mind has been running a marathon with no finish line, and somewhere along the way, you forgot the most important thing. You. You forgot what it feels like to breathe without rushing, to think without panicking, to exist without feeling like you're falling behind. But deep inside you, somewhere beneath the noise of life, the disappointments, the people who let you down, the stress you carry, there is a man who still wants to rise. There is a man inside you who refuses to end his story in confusion or pain. A man who wants peace. A man who wants clarity. A man who wants a life that feels purposeful, meaningful, and grounded. And that man starts waking up today. Today, you are going to do something deceptively simple. You're going to sit down, alone, in silence, and meet yourself. Not the version of you the world sees. Not the version of you your past relationships hurt. Not the version of you life pressured. The real you. The one you buried under all the expectations and all the noise. As you sit in silence, your mind will attempt to distract you. It will bring up memories, some you're proud of, others you've spent years trying to forget. It will remind you of mistakes, of failures, of heartbreaks, because the mind loves to replay old wounds. But today, instead of running from those thoughts, you'll simply observe them, like clouds drifting across the sky. They pass. They fade. They are not you. They are only experiences that shaped you. You might feel uncomfortable. You might feel restless. You might feel emotions you haven't felt in years. But that discomfort is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of awakening. It means your mind is finally speaking to you instead of drowning in noise. And for the first time in a long time, you're listening. You will start to realize something that most people never understand. Silence isn't empty. Silence is full. Full of truth. Full of clarity. Full of answers you've been searching for without even knowing it. In the silence, you start to notice how much pain you've carried for others. How often you've abandoned yourself to keep someone else happy. How many pieces of yourself you gave away just to feel valued. How long you've been moving without ever stopping to ask, what do I truly want? What does my soul need? And slowly, as the minutes pass, a new feeling rises in you. A quiet strength. A grounded presence. A realization that you matter. Not because of what you've accomplished, not because of what you own, not because of who loves you or who left you, but because you are alive. And life itself is proof that you are worthy of more than the pain you've been carrying. You start to understand that you are not behind, you are not late, you are not broken. You are becoming. Every challenge you faced was preparing you for the man you are about to evolve into. Day one is not about changing your habits yet. It's not about waking up earlier or reading or discipline. That comes later. Today is about reconnecting to the one thing you've neglected the most, your inner world, your emotional health, your mental peace. Because a man who cannot sit with himself will never master his life. And a man who can sit with himself, who can face his thoughts, who can look at his emotions without running away, that man becomes unstoppable. Today, after your 5 minutes of silence, you will write one sentence. My life is worthy of rebuilding, and I am worthy of living it. Read it slowly. Let the words sink into your chest. Because if you stay committed to this challenge, you will become a man who walks differently, speaks differently, thinks differently. A man who no longer reacts out of insecurity, fear, or confusion. A man who lives with intention. But before we move on, I want you to understand something very important. This journey isn't a race. This journey isn't about becoming perfect. This journey is about returning to the man you were always meant to become, the one life distracted you from. And that version of you is still waiting, still calling, still alive. As day one comes to a close, something inside you shifts. A small shift maybe, but a real one. The beginning of awareness, the beginning of peace, the beginning of transformation. But this is only the start, because tomorrow we go deeper. Tomorrow we introduce intention. Tomorrow we begin shaping your inner discipline. Tomorrow you step further into the man the world never prepared you to be, but life is calling you to become. But day one is far from over, because something happens after that first moment of silence. Something subtle, something quiet, but powerful enough to change a man's entire direction in life. When you sit with yourself long enough, you begin to see patterns. You start to understand why you react the way you do, why certain words trigger you, why certain people drain you, and why certain losses broke you more than you ever admitted. You begin to see how much of your life has been shaped by old wounds you never healed and fears you never faced. And for the first time, you don't run from that truth. You face it. You begin to realize that most of the pain you felt wasn't because you were weak, but because you were carrying more than you were ever meant to carry alone. You realize that the world never taught you how to deal with heartbreak, how to handle betrayal, how to release anger, or how to rebuild after loss. Instead, you were told to move on, man up, or stay strong, even when your heart was breaking quietly inside your chest. And that's why day one matters so much. Because today, you stop pretending. Today, you stop hiding the parts of you that needed help. Today, you give yourself permission to be human, fully, honestly, deeply human, without apologizing for it. As you continue your silence, a new awareness begins to rise in you. You have been surviving, not living. You've been reacting to life instead of directing it. You've been drifting, hoping things would change on their own, waiting for clarity, hoping someone would understand you, value you, choose you, fight for you. But the truth hits you gently, like a whisper from your own soul. It's time to choose yourself. It's time to fight for yourself. You start to understand that nobody is coming to save you. But that is not a sad realization. It's a powerful one. Because the moment you stop expecting someone else to fix your life is the moment you take full control of it. You are not weak for wanting support. You are not weak for feeling pain. You are not weak for struggling. Weakness is refusing to look at the truth. Strength is facing it. And that's exactly what you're doing today. Your breathing becomes calmer. Your thoughts begin to settle. You start to feel your mind clear just a little, like fog lifting slowly at dawn. And you realize something even deeper. You have been carrying the weight of unspoken expectations. Expectation of being strong for everyone. Expectation of holding your family together. Expectation of never showing fear. Expectation of being perfect, even when you were hurting inside. Expectation of healing instantly from things that shattered you. Expectation of loving others even when you had nothing left to give. But today, one by one, those expectations fall off your shoulders. Today, you stop trying to be the man everyone thinks you are, and you start becoming the man you truly want to be. And that man, the one rising inside you, deserves a life with meaning. He deserves peace. He deserves joy. He deserves love that doesn't break him. He deserves stability, confidence, freedom. He deserves mornings where he wakes up proud of himself and nights where he sleeps knowing he didn't abandon his own soul. You begin to feel something shifting inside you. Not a loud breakthrough, not a dramatic moment, but a quiet acceptance. Your past is not your prison. Every mistake you've made, every heartbreak you've gone through, every moment you thought you weren't enough, every time you doubted your worth, all of it was shaping you, not to destroy you, but to prepare you. And day one is the moment you finally see it. This journey isn't about fixing the old version of you. It's about releasing him, letting him rest, letting him go. So the new version of you, the stronger, wiser, calmer, more powerful version, can finally take his place. You lift your head slightly. Your breathing feels different. The room feels different. Even your body feels lighter. Because you have let the truth wash over you without resisting it. And in that acceptance, healing begins. But day one still isn't done. Because now that you've awakened your mind, now that you've faced your silence, now that you've acknowledged your worth, there is one more step, one final shift, one deeper layer that you must confront before day one closes. And that next layer is the one most men avoid their entire lives. It is the layer that holds your identity, your beliefs, your emotional scars, and the story you have been telling yourself for years. And confronting that story is what takes day one from an exercise to a transformation. As day one unfolds, you begin to understand something most people go their entire lives without realizing. Your transformation doesn't begin when the world changes around you. It begins when you change within yourself. The silence you faced today wasn't just a pause. It was a mirror. A mirror showing you the parts of you that have been ignored, silenced, or misunderstood. A mirror revealing the wounds you've carried, the strength you've hidden, the dreams you've buried under years of pressure and survival. And for the first time, you didn't look away. You allowed yourself to feel. You allowed yourself to breathe. You allowed yourself to exist without performing for anyone. That alone is powerful. That alone is a sign that something inside you is finally shifting. Most men go their whole lives never meeting their true selves. They stay distracted. They stay numb. They stay lost. But you chose to sit in the silence. You chose to face yourself. That is the first step toward the man you are becoming. There is a version of you inside, a wiser, calmer, stronger version who has been waiting for you to slow down long enough to hear him. And today, he finally had space to speak. You felt it, that small rise of clarity, that soft release of tension, that quiet moment where your mind stopped fighting and allowed itself to simply be. That is the beginning of inner strength. Not the loud, aggressive strength the world pretends to admire, but the quiet strength of a man who knows himself, trusts himself, and refuses to abandon himself ever again. And before day one ends, you must understand one more truth. You are worth the effort it will take to rebuild your life. You are worth the time. You are worth the healing. You are worth the peace you've been denying yourself. Your past does not get the final say. Your pain does not get the last word. Your doubts do not get to decide the kind of man you become. Today, you stepped back into your own life, even if only by 1 inch. And that inch is more valuable than you realize. Because every transformation starts with 1 inch, 1 breath, 1 moment of honesty, 1 day where you finally say, I'm ready. And you are. So now, before day one ends, there is one final task you must complete. A task that will anchor everything you felt today and prepare your mind for the days ahead. Day one task: the letter you were never allowed to write. Tonight, before you sleep, you will write a letter. Not a letter to someone else, but a letter from your future self to the man you are right now. Write as if your future self, the healed, focused, confident, powerful version of you, is speaking directly to you here on day one. Write what he would say. Write what he would thank you for. Write what he would tell you not to give up on. Write what he sees in you that you might not see yet. Write what he knows you are capable of becoming. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to sound poetic. It just needs to be true. This letter becomes your anchor, a reminder that the man you want to become already exists inside you, and he is waiting for you to continue this journey. When you finish that letter, fold it. Put it somewhere safe. You will return to it later, and when you do, you will see just how far you've come. And with that, day one closes. Not with an ending, but with a beginning.